Hi friends, it's Lori and welcome to Main Street Gardener. So this is one of the geraniums that I grew from seed this year. It took forever to take off. I don't know what kind of happened, but I'm taking down today. This is part of a sky pot system. I will include the link to it in the description in case you want to consider it for next year. I have loved having it on the edge of my little shed right here. So the way it works is it has a hook and then it has a bottom, but it does allow drainage. And then you can stack vertically your terracotta pots. And it's done fantastic. So I've really enjoyed it. But today's the day. I absolutely need to get these guys inside. It is November and we haven't had a harsh frost yet, but it is going to sneak up on us. And I just want to go ahead and get these guys settled inside. So I am up at my floral studio today. It's quite a mess in there. We had some wind and the windows are open. It knocked down a bunch of things. I need to get that straight before winter hits. I also have my potting shed area in the back. You're not going to believe it. As I work the garden at the end of the season, I just kind of dump back there. So I just want to work and get that all tidied up today, kind of clean it out, see what things need to go to Goodwill, trash, and just get it all set. So this was a begonia, and I am going to cut it back today. It needs a little TLC, but I'm also going to overwinter this in the basement as well. So this last container is a grass. It is the Everest grass, and it does have a little bit of some creeping Jenny, and this might be some type of annual ground cover. I'm just going to cut all that back, but I'm going to leave the Everest up. It does not need to come inside for the winter. I think that's the beauty of using perennials, and especially these kind of grasses in a container. It's just going to do great throughout the winter. I'm just going to keep it, and then I can hook up the others at the when spring hits. So I'll be able to add those other two back. Now, instead of repotting these, I'm just going to clean them up, and I'm going to try in my basement where my grow lights are to actually hook them. They've got the hook on something. I could also sit them in a nursery container, which I may do. I just don't want to repot them. There's no reason. These were little six-inch plants. I'm going to cut them back right now, and they'll just reflush and be beautiful next season. I could, pot them up and bring them inside the house. I don't do great with houseplants inside my house because I don't get enough sunlight. My house goes north-south, but the sides are blocked by their homes because it's such a narrow lot. So I just don't get enough sunshine. I can put these under grow lights and it's going to do great. Same thing for the geranium. All right, so these are going to go down to my stash to go into my garden basement greenhouse, which I'm going to show you in another video. Okay, so the next thing on my list today is to actually clean up my coleus plants. And while I could bring those inside, I already have some cuttings, and I just have so many plants that I'm bringing in this year that I just don't think I'm going to save these. So cleaning up the front of the studio is pretty easy. I do need to wash it off, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do for the holidays yet. So I'm going to leave that container for now. And then once I get ready to do the holiday decor, I'm going to wash this porch off and just get it fresh for the winter season. It stays pretty dirty. I wish we had done a darker, that's a Trek platform, but it's a garden shed, so that's okay. And so let's go see the floral studio because it's a little bit of a mess. I think I can get it cleaned up in about, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to move to the back of the garden. But I do want to show you as I walk forward, look at these gorgeous dark purple
Pansies, they love this spot. Impatiens, pansies, those type of flowers do amazing right here. I don't know what it is, but that is just such a sweet spot. I wish I had done more of these. I still could. I actually am growing some pansies, but I'm going to remember this color. If I can find some more at the garden center, I'm going to grab them. I would love to have them popped in other containers back here. Such a bright spot of happiness. All right, now I'm going to show you the mess that is the floral studio. So here's my tiny little floral studio. You can see the wind came through and we had a big crash. So I've actually got on 3 layers today. I'm going to take off my jacket and we're just going to get in here and clean up. I am saving these hydrangeas for a holiday project. So I think I'm just going to get a big bucket and put them all in it so that that will be out of our way as we're working today. And I think once I get all those out of the way, there's really not a lot to do in here. Just a little bit of spiffing up, putting some things back in their containers. I like to do a full winter purge of this space. I don't want to do that today because there's so many things to do in the garden, but on a warm garden day or when I can plug in a heater back here, I like to come in and just take a section at a time and go through it. But right now, we've got a lot of things in the garden to clean up and work on, so I'm just going to do a quick tidy and be done with it for right now. All right, let me go get a bucket and we'll get started.
Okay, so I still need to sweep it out, or I may actually get the blower. Again, I'm not doing a deep dive today. I need to go through all my containers, the cabinet. I love to redecorate this. I actually have some holiday things I need to get down, so let me do that really fast. I bought this sleigh at an antique store months and months ago. Oh, I can't even remember. I think I got it for $12 or $10. And I thought it would be so cute. It's got some damage, but I thought I might do it on one of the patio tables. I need to weatherproof it, but that definitely needs to stay out, and I got to figure out what to do with it. And then these are some dried Christmas trees that I made last year with my mom and sister. And they're just made with all kinds of dried flowers. I actually have a small one, and I'm just kind of thinking about, I may use them again this year. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and stick those out so I don't forget them. I may even just use them in this space, which could be fun. So earlier this year, I bagged and saved some of my favorite dahlia seeds from my garden. These are dahlias that I grew from seed. They were originally florets. They had gotten cross-pollinated, and these were some of my favorites. Now, I did not label what they are. They're going to be in the pink family. I'll know when they come back up. I also saved the tubers, so I'm going to be digging those up. In a couple weeks. We are late this year to have a frost and for them to really get cold and cure, but I'm going to go ahead and dig them up because it has been long enough. But I wanted to see if we had some seeds and how these look, so I thought I would show you.
I'm not expecting a lot of seeds from these because these were just tiny little flowers, and again, I had them covered, but there's a seed right there. The camera will pick it up. There it is. So one little seed there. I can see a second seed right in here. There's a second one. So you just have to really go with it and go through it. There's probably going to be, there's another one. I've got at least probably 10 or 12 in here. So what I'm going to do is dump this in a bag. I'm going to take it inside with my reading glasses under a great light, and then I'll go through them and divide out just the seeds. So I have found this method works fine for me. Again, I'm just saving a few at a time. And so what I like to do is I'm just going to come in and shake all that in there. And then I'll take it inside in the light so that I can see all the actual seeds. This is one variety of dahlias. I will take it in, clean it out, just save the actual seeds, store it downstairs in my, it's a neutral seed area space. My basement runs about 60 degrees. And then we'll have these to start growing in the spring. I usually start them indoors because they are seedlings from my garden, and you never know the germination rate. I've had pretty good success, but I'll still start them indoors and then transplant them out after the last frost. So we got that project done. I'm going to put those in my stash, and then we're just going to do the final tweaks in here. All right, so for today, it took a little longer than probably about a good 15 to 20 minutes because I did sweep, I did clean up a little bit of things, and I did look at the seeds. But at least I can walk in here. I can get in here to get the items I need for holiday decorating. And then once the holidays are over, we're just going to come out here. I'm hoping to get a little wood stove for this space, so I'm working on that. I have a option, and I've just got to hopefully get the pipe installed to send the smoke out. But anyway, otherwise I'll get a little heater out here, but the windows need to be cleaned. I need to just go through stuff that I'm not using and donate it. I love to collect containers, and over the years, I just don't use many of them. Most of them in here I'm not using, so I really want to utilize this space better. I have a lot of photography things that I don't store out here that I could. So we'll be doing that together soon, and I usually rearrange. So I've had this table out here for a while. It really isn't as functional as I thought it would be, but we'll do that another day. So for now, it's tidied up. I've left a couple windows open until, again, it gets a lot colder. And all of these hydrangeas, aren't they beautiful? We're going to be using in another project. The Bobo hydrangeas this year, you guys, I could not believe the color on these. I've never had them do that. It's year 4 of them in my garden, and they just decided to act right and show up for the party. So they were gorgeous. And if you have ideas for this little sleigh, let me know. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it inside, kind of in my T-bar area. I will show you that, or out in the garden. We'll see. All right, now we're going to go clean the worst space in the garden. I'm embarrassed to show you, but we all have those spaces, and it's just that time of year. So let's get after it. All right, everybody. So I'm a little embarrassed to show you, but we all have those spaces, and this area, it's normally straight, but as I was cleaning up the patio and the rest of the garden, I just kept bringing things out here and just dumping them. And now they need to go to their permanent kind of winter home. I also need to go through my potting bench, the containers. There's things that are broken. There's things I don't use. So I'm going to make a Goodwill pile, a cleanup pile. I've got all my kind of stakes and racks. I actually need to take those to the back. So I'm just going to get after it. And then at the end, I do want to take the pumpkins. I'm over the pumpkins. I want to take those down, and I'm going to actually do something with those. Maybe bake some pumpkin bread or something with them. So I'm going to get rid of those, clean up those containers. And then at the very end, when I show you the finished product, I really need your opinion. Stay tuned to the end, see this space cleaned up, and then I want to get your opinion on it. All right. I'm going to get the job done. So minus a wash, which I may bring the hose back and do, or a bucket of water. Be nice to get all that dirt off. I've at least got it tidied up. Man, my terracotta collection has really diminished, and I think a lot of it is we will get heavy winds, and I had some sitting up on this ledge. So my idea for this space, I like having this here. It works because I can go to my back. Back behind here, we have a little garden shed. You can say I have some bags, some trash. So that's got our lawnmower and things in it. And then all behind this fence is storage. I have a storage cabinet. I store buckets and containers I'm not using, all those kinds of things back behind the fence. But this corner, I feel like the rhododendrons are growing. There are 3 of those, and they're getting there. They have really struggled. They look the best they ever have. And I know at some point they will be huge, and that will be just fine with me. But I'm thinking about getting a really large container to put in this corner. I don't normally store all this back here, but I'm gonna get the guys to take it to the back for me. But what I'm thinking is getting a huge container and do some kind of tree, maybe a redbud or a shade, Japanese maple, maybe a dogwood, something that, a petite one, something that stays kind of small, but will just kind of rise up and drape over this space. So that's one idea I have. Second idea would be to just get some type of shelving unit or build shelves and just store all my terracotta. So I could build shelves where the top shelf would be kind of empty, and then underneath would be all the terracotta. So it'd be kind of wind protected. So that's another idea. Over time, I won't be able to have this potting bench here because these rhododendrons will get huge, but I'm telling you guys, it could be 5 years and I could still be on YouTube and tell you that they're not huge yet. They are very slow growing, and I've almost lost them actually a couple times in the winter. So anyway, I just want to make the space as usable as possible while I'm enjoying it back here. So just this little potting bench. And then the last few things I need to do, I have a bucket of terracotta. I'm going to get a hammer and kind of break that up and use it for pots. I have a small section for Goodwill, this old table and some containers. Now this container, I've got to find a space for it. I love this. It was my mom's, and when she moved and downsized, she didn't have a spot for it. And I'm not sure. I could put it in the center here instead of the basket, and it would be really pretty with things in it. But my hanging baskets really do a good job there, and they fill the space, but that could be an option, and maybe I even try it this winter. I just don't have a lot of other wall space options. So I don't know if there's a way maybe to put it on a table. So if you have ideas, let me know, but I definitely love it. So it felt great to get that area cleaned up. Let me know what you think about adding a tree or maybe a tall evergreen, skinny evergreen. Also what to do with this gorgeous little fun whimsical container of my mom's. I may try using it for the holidays and put it back here. We'll see. I have got some containers that need to get washed out. These I use when I'm cutting flowers and stick them in. So I just need to clean those up. I've got some pine cones that I'm going to use for winter interest. I have some seed containers that need to go down to my seed storage. And then I forgot I potted up this little begonia. It looks so good. So I'm going to take that down to the basement. And I also had done some spider plant babies. So I'm just going to let those continue growing. I can always share them with neighbors or my Hammer Club friends. This is a sedum. It's very dry, but it can stay out all winter. So I'm going to put it back on the potting bench. I need to clean up the coleus, and then these pumpkins are out of here. So I'm just going to wrap up this space. You guys know how that goes. But thanks for joining today. Just kind of getting those things buttoned up. I also have a huge spider plant over here that I noticed. I'm going to also take that down to the basement. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.